instruction. Characteristics of devotional service. Kleshagni Shubhada Moksha Laguta Kuta Sudurlabha Sandrananda Visheshatma Shri Krishna Akarshani Chasa. So yesterday we saw how devotional service, bhakti, has the capacity to remove the miseries. Miseries are at 4 stages. Aprarabdham, that is at aprarabdha stage. Aprarabdha, that means it has yet to come. It can easily haratvam, aprarabdham haratvam, aprarabdha phalam papam kutam bijam phalonmukham kramenaiva praliyeta vishnu bhakti ratottamam. So that also we saw yesterday, that how kramenaiva, first aprarabdha goes away, bija goes, kuta goes, paraphernalia is improved, kuta goes, bija goes, and then prarabdha flow also goes. Now today we'll see the second characteristics. The second one is Shubhada, devotional service. As soon as we perform devotional service, we are not talking about now Bhava Bhakti, Prema Bhakti. We are just talking about even sadhana. At the stage of sadhana, the first thing is Kleshagni. The Kleshas slowly vanishes. And as and when we more and more we improve our devotional service, we reach the stage of Asakti, Bhava, Prema, then even Prarabdha also goes up. So let us see 27. Okay. Shubhatvam. Shubhatatvam. Shubhatatvam means it gives auspiciousness. 27. Open the Nector of Instruction book. Krishna consciousness is all auspicious. The first paragraph is 27th. Second paragraph is 28. Third is 29. Third, fourth, fifth. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. That is 29th verse. So in this Shubhada, we have 3 verses. 27, 28, and 29. Let us see. 27th verse. You can take a pencil and mark, because when you will be reading Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, you will know. It will be very easy for you to understand. 1.1.27 is the first paragraph, given by Srila Prabhupada. 28 is the second paragraph. After that, till the end of this section is 29th verse. Shubhadatvam Shubhani Prinanam Sarva Jagatam Manuraktata Sadguna Sukham Ityadini Akhyatani Manishibihi. The second characteristic is it gives Shubhada. It gives all auspiciousness. Now, auspiciousnesses are of 4 types. 4 types of auspiciousness. You take up bhakti, automatically you have affection for all living entities. It will happen. You develop affection for all living entities. Why? Because you come to know Mamaivanshu Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. First thing is, one stops taking non-vegetarian items. Rules and regulations are followed in sadhana. So automatically compassion is there. So you develop affection for everyone. When you have a compassion, affection for everyone, you become the loving object. Everyone loves you. That is the second characteristic. In this way, you have wonderful qualities attained. Third characteristic. And the fourth characteristic is, in this way, one experiences happiness. Naturally, if you're not cruel to anyone, you'll be happy. If you're cruel to someone, you say some insulting words, what happens is other person is also unhappy, and that negativity automatically passes on. So we have to be very compassionate in everything. Bhakti teaches us. Bhakti teaches us austerity of speech. We have seen austerity of speech, austerity of our mind, austerity of our body. So bhakti, because of this, it is very pleasing. You're affectionate to everyone, you're kind to everyone. Others also start loving you. You develop wonderful qualities. And in this way, you experience happiness. Now, here in Jiva Goswami's commentary, it is said, why two things and the third thing has been put? When you have good quality, naturally, you're affectionate and you're dear to everyone. But here it is said that first quality is also put, second quality is also put, and in this way, emphasizing on the wonderful quality of a devotee that has been given. So third is also put separately. Wonderful quality of a devotee is also stressed upon, because they contain these two qualities. That is why it has a wonderful swarupa. The quality itself has a wonderful swarupa. Okay. Vaishnava Prabhu, you read the first paragraph.
Yes, Mother, Hare Krishna. Krishna consciousness is all auspicious. Srila Rupa Goswami has given a definition of auspiciousness. He says that actual auspiciousness means welfare activities for all the people of the world. At the present moment, groups of people are engaged in welfare activities in terms of society, community, or nation. There is even an attempt in the form of the United Nations for World Help activity. But due to the shortcomings of limited national activities, such a general mass welfare program for the whole world is not practically possible. The Krishna consciousness movement, however, is so nice that it can render the highest benefit to the entire human race. Everyone can be attracted by this movement, and everyone can feel the result. Therefore, Rupa Goswami and other learned scholars agree that a broad propaganda program for the Krishna consciousness movement of devotional service all over the world is the highest humanitarian welfare activity. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So giving Krishna consciousness is the highest welfare activity. Because we talk about the welfare activity, and welfare activity naturally draws attention of everyone. And welfare activity gives happiness also. But the highest among all the welfare activity, which is good for oneself also and others also, that is spreading Krishna consciousness. Now 28th verse. Let us see. Screen is going this side of 28th verse. Tatra jagat preenanadi dvaya pradatvam yatha padme yenachito haristena tarpitani jaganti api gacyanti jantavastatra jaganmastavara api. Okay. The first two types of Shubha has been given in even Padma Purana. Padma Purana speaks, he who worships the Lord is pleasing to all living entities. And all the inhabitants of the world, both moving and non-moving, are very pleasing to him. So in this way, he loves everyone and everyone loves him. This has been given in Bhagavad Gita also. Bhagavad Gita very clearly Krishna says, he becomes very dear to everyone. So homework for you. In which chapter? You're Bhakti Shastri student now. You're going to get the degree. So you have completed your Bhagavad Gita class, Bhagavad Gita section. In which verse Krishna says? It's in third chapter or fourth chapter, somewhere here and there. You have to find it. In which chapter Krishna says, which verse, that a person who is devoted, has wonderful qualities, he is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Okay, find out that verse. Okay, Anupama, read the 29th, 28th, sorry, 20 paragraph, second one.
Hare Krishna Mataji. How the Krishna consciousness movement can attract the attention of the whole world, and how each and every man can feel pleasure in this Krishna consciousness is stated in the Padma Purana as follows. A person who is engaged in devotional service is full Krishna consciousness is to be understood to be doing the best service to the whole world and to be pleasing everyone in the world. In addition to human society, even the trees and animals, because they also become attracted by such a movement. A practical example of this was shown by Lord Chaitanya when he was traveling through the forest of Jharikhanda in central India for spreading his Sankirtana movement. The tigers, the elephants, the deers, and all the other wild animals joined him and were participating in their own ways by dancing and chanting Hare Krishna. Furthermore, a person engaged in Krishna consciousness acting in devotional service can develop all the good qualities that are generally found in the demigods. It is said by Shukadeva Goswami in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 18th chapter verse 12. My dear king.
Wait. There is now 29th verse. So 28th verse speaks about Padma Puran mentioning the two characteristics of Shubhada. Now 29th verse is the proof. 5th canto, 18th chapter, 12th verse. Possible, memorize because this is given in Bhagavad Gita also. Bhagavad Gita 1st chapter, Krishna, Srila Prabhupada puts this in the purport, where Arjuna is in the depression. Now in the depression section, where he says, oh, they are my people. At that time, Srila Prabhupada compares that, see, he says that he is telling that they are all my people. On the contrary, his uncle was saying, Mamakaha Pandava. So the depression section, you can find out where Srila Prabhupada mentions, why is it that Arjuna is saying they are my people? Because he's a devotee. And devotee means he has compassion. He never distinguishes, he is mine, he is his. No. He sees everybody as part and parcel of Krishna. In that, he puts this verse, in that section. Srila Prabhupada gives this quotation. Yasyasti bhakti bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunais samasate sura harava bhaktasya kutum mahatguna manoratena sati dhavato bahi. You have to memorize this verse. If somebody is asking you that is the devotee having wonderful quality, you should have a strong answer to say yes. Let that be a sadhaka in the initial stage, doesn't matter. This is the proof. Yasyasti bhakti bhagavati akinchana. Whoever is doing akinchana devotee to Krishna, devotion to Krishna, though in the sadhana's level, he may not be having that type of akinchana bhakti, but slowly under the guidance, he will develop in course of time. So whoever is doing akinchana bhakti towards Krishna, yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunais tatra samasate sura. He has all the wonderful qualities of a Nitya Suri. So wonderful qualities like Nitya Suri. Who are all the Nitya Suri? One, who are all the associates of Krishna in Vaikuntha. They are all Nitya Suris. So they have that beautiful qualities of the Suris, that means the Devatas of the eternal world. And then Harava Bhaktasya Kuto Mahaguna. So he has no love for Krishna. Kuto Mahaguna, though he may have all wonderful qualities, kuto mahadguna, but he has no love for Krishna. Harava bhaktasya, abhaktahis. Then what is the use? Mano rathena sati dhavato bhai. He's only sitting in the chariot of his mind. So that has been given. So whoever has a kinchana love for Krishna automatically develops wonderful and the beautiful qualities of Nitya Suris. Okay, from here, Jumur will read. Jumur.
Yes, Mataji. On the other hand, from here only, na? On the other hand, a person who is not
No, one paragraph before.
Furthermore, Mataji.
Furthermore, a person.
Okay. Furthermore, a person engaged in Krishna consciousness, acting in devotional service, can develop all the good qualities that are generally found in the demigods. It is said by Sukadev Goswami in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 18th chapter, verse 12, My dear king, persons who have unflinching faith in Krishna and are without any duplicity can develop all the good qualities of the demigods. On account of the devotee's high grade of Krishna consciousness, even the demigod likes to live with him, and therefore it can be understood that the qualities of the demigods have developed within his body. On the other hand, a person who is not in Krishna consciousness has no good qualities. He may be highly educated from the academic point of view, but in the actual field of his activities, he can be seen to be baser than the animals. Even though a person is highly educated academically, if he cannot go beyond the sphere of mental activities, then he is sure to perform only material activities and thus remain impure. There are so many persons in the modern world who have been highly educated in the materialistic universities, but it is seen that they cannot take up the movement of Krishna consciousness and develop the high qualities of the demigods. For example,
Okay. Till here. So now here is said, one who is not in Krishna consciousness, actually he has no good quality. Because, mute your phone, Jumur. A lot of disturbance is there. Mute your phone. So if a person is not in Krishna consciousness, he has no good quality. Very clearly it has been said. He may be morally very good. He may have all moral values, everything wonderful. But he has no spiritual values. So what is the use of such moral values? Such moral values will only last for some time. That is why mano rathena sati tavato bhai. Till he is seated on the chariot of his mind, he may do what he likes. He may behave nicely. Suddenly he may become very rude. So we cannot rely on people just because they are very good. We don't have to be good in the society. We should be divine in the society. Being good is not our goal. Being divine is our aim. Okay, from here, Krishna Priya Mataji, you read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. For example, a Krishna conscious boy, even if he is not very well educated by the university standard, can immediately give up all illicit sex life, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication. Whereas those who are not in Krishna consciousness, although very highly educated, are often drunkards, meat eaters, sex mongers, and gamblers. Those are practical proofs of how a Krishna conscious person becomes highly developed in good qualities. Whereas a person who is not in Krishna consciousness cannot do so. We experience that even a young boy in Krishna consciousness is unattached to cinemas, nightclubs, naked dance shows, restaurants, liquor shops, etc. He becomes completely freed. He saves his valuable time for being extravagantly spent in the way of smoking, drinking, attending the theater, and dancing. One who is not in Krishna consciousness usually cannot sit silently even for half an hour. The yoga system teaches that if we become silent, you will realize that you are God. This system may be all right for the materialistic persons, but how long will they be able to keep themselves silent? Artificially, they may sit down for so called meditation, but immediately after their yogic performance, they will engage themselves again in such activities in illicit sex life, gambling, meat eating, and many other nonsensical things. But a Krishna conscious person gradually elevates himself without rendering for this so called silent meditation. Simply because he is engaged in Krishna consciousness, he automatically gives up all these nonsenses and develops a high character. One develops the highest character by becoming a pure devotee of Krishna. The conclusion is that no one can truly have any good qualities if he is lacking Krishna consciousness. Still here, Mataji?
Okay. Conclusion is that one can truly have any good qualities if one cannot have, no one can truly have any good qualities if he's lacking Krishna consciousness. He may be very educated, wonderful educated boy, but what about his drinking habits? Can easily come. What about his gossiping habits? So everything, the mind and the senses are controlled only by Krishna consciousness. And when one's mind and senses are controlled, then only he is going to have all these four wonderful qualities. That is, he is pleasing to everyone, he is compassionate to everyone, he is pleasing to everyone, and then he has wonderful qualities and he experiences happiness. Now let us see happiness in Krishna consciousness. This is having moksha laguta kruta. That is the third characteristic. Sadhana bhakti has two, the first two. That is kleshagni shubhada. So slowly, when you advance in sadhana bhakti, you come to the stage of bhava bhakti. That means ruchi, asakti, then comes bhava. So, but you have to cross these all stages. Ruchi, your taste in devotion increases. Your taste in other things automatically decreases. So, moksha laguta kruta. You are not behind getting moksha. See, initially coming before Krishna consciousness, everybody wanted mukti, moksha. Maybe you must have been troubled in the house. You wanted some moksha from your house also. So, you don't know what type of trouble we have faced. Four type of people come to Krishna. Artho, Jigyasu, Artharthi. So somebody is in great need of money, they also come in Krishna consciousness. Somebody wants a relief from the material miseries, that is also known as moksha only. Somebody wants bhukti, somebody wants mukti, somebody wants some siddhis. They want to prove siddhis. They want to fool the society. They want to become lighter of the lightest. They want to walk on water. They want this type of siddhis. For that also they do bhakti. In bhakti, you get four things. One is siddhis, bhukti, mukti, and then parama ananda. So there are four things which one gets in devotion. Four types of happiness a person gets. So pure devotee, he is inclined to get paramananda. He is not interested in siddhi, bhukti, and mukti. Somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, you all can show some siddhis? Prabhupada said, he just placed his stick on the snow. Immediately the water came up. Then he was so, the other person was so surprised that in the snow how water came. Prabhupada said, like this we can show. But you fools will start considering me as God. And I don't want that. Is it not a siddhi going and making 108 temples around the world? What more can be the siddhi? Transforming others' heart in Krishna consciousness. That is the greatest siddhi. But devotee doesn't want to show those siddhis. Somebody likes to remove linga from their hands, some vibhuti from their hands. The people, foolish people, they go and say, oh Baba, oh Amma, you are only everything. But devotees, they don't want to do this. They are not interested in showing siddhis. Sometimes siddhis are done by even pure devotee just to hook that person and keep him in Krishna consciousness. There are Vaishnava acharyas who have shown some siddhis just to hook the people in Krishna consciousness. If that is the intention, then siddhis are wonderful. But if the intention behind siddhi is to get popularity, then what is the use? So siddhi, bhukti, material life, lot of material happiness a person gets because he came with that intention. Artho, jikyasu. Jikyasu is later. Artharthi and artho, they came with the intention of getting relief from their material miseries, getting more opulences. So bhukti is available. Mukti wants to become one with the impersonal Brahman. Mukti. But Paramananda is the stage where the person experiences happiness by serving Krishna. So let us see. First paragraph in this is 30th verse. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. Till that it is 31st verse. Let us see step by step. Now 30th verse. Sukha pradatvam sukham vaisayikam brahmam aishwaram cheti tatridha. So bhakti bestows happiness. The three types of happiness. One from material things, one from Brahman realization, and from Lord. Okay, so bhukti, mukti, and bhakti has been given. Three types of happiness. That is bhukti. Bhukti means bhogana, mukti, and bhakti. Okay, read the first paragraph, Vishwambar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Happiness in Krishna consciousness. Sri Rupa Goswami has analyzed the different sources of happiness. He has divided happiness into three categories, which are first, happiness derived from material enjoyment. Second, happiness derived by identifying one.
Over. Hari Bol.
Happiness derived from Krishna consciousness.
Yes, three types of happiness. Now 31st verse. What does Tantra say? Tantra Shastra. What does it say? Let us see. Wait.
In the Tantra
Yatha tantre siddhya paramascharya muktir muktischa shashwati nityam cha paramanando. See the screen. Try to read the verse also. Nityam cha paramanando bhaved govinda bhaktitaha. Rupa Goswami has given these verses. So naturally, we should read the verses. And you mark it. When you are studying also, read the verse. You make that PDF into printout. Read the verse and then go ahead. Siddhaya paramascharya bhuktir muktischa shashwati nityam cha paramanando bhaved govinda bhaktitaha. So Tantra Shastras, this is the evidence which Rupa Goswami gives from Tantra Shastra. According to Tantra Shastra, 4 types of happiness come from Bhakti to Govinda. One is Siddhi, one is Bhukti, one is Mukti, and one is Parama Ananda. That is service to Krishna. Okay, read from here. Sudha Mataji, you read 2 paragraphs.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. In the Tantra Shastra, Lord Shiva speaks to his wife Sati in this way. My dear wife, a person who has surrendered himself at the lotus feet of Govind
and who has thus developed pure Krishna consciousness can be very easily awarded all the perfections desired by the impersonalist, and beyond this he can enjoy the happiness achieved by the pure devotees. Happiness derived from pure devotional service is the highest because it is eternal. The happiness derived from material perfection or understanding oneself to be Brahman is inferior because it is temporary. There is no preventing one's falling down from material happiness, and there is even every chance of falling down from the spiritual happiness derived out of identifying oneself with the impersonal Brahman.
Okay. Now, next two paragraphs, Hanshruti Prabhu read. Hanshruti Prabhu. Okay, somebody else can read.
May I read, Mataji?
Yeah.
It
Mataji,
has
I'm
been,
driving, that is I cannot do that one.
Okay, okay. Vishwambar Prabhu read.
it has been seen that great Mayavadi impersonalists, sannyasis, very highly educated and almost realized souls, may sometimes take to political activities or to social welfare activities. The reason is that they actually do not derive any ultimate transcendental happiness in the impersonal understanding and therefore must come down to the material platform and take to such mundane affairs. There are many instances, especially in India, where these Mayavadi sannyasis descend to the material platform again. But a person who is fully in Krishna consciousness will never return to any sort of material platform, however alluring and attracting they may be. He always knows that no material welfare activities can compare to the spiritual activity of Krishna consciousness. The mystic perfections achieved by actually successful yogis are 8 in number. Anima Siddhi refers to the power by which one can become so small that he can enter into a stone. Modern scientific improvements also enable us to enter into stone because they provide for excavating so many surveys, penetrating the hills, etc. So, Anima Siddhi, the mystic perfection of trying to enter into the stone, has also been achieved by material science. Similarly, all of the yoga siddhis or perfections are material arts. For example, in one yoga siddhi, there is a development of the power to become so lighter that one can float in the air or on water. That is also being performed by modern scientists. They are flying in the air, they are floating on the surface of water, and they are traveling under the water. After comparing all these mystic yoga siddhis to materialistic perfection, we find that the materialistic scientists strive for the same perfection. So actually, there is no difference between mystic perfection and materialistic perfection. A German scholar once said that the so-called yoga perfection had already been achieved by the modern scientists, and so he was not concerned with them. He intelligently went to India to learn how he could understand his eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord by means of Bhakti Yoga, devotional
Okay.
service.
Okay. So Anima Siddhi has been spoken, becoming lighter, entering the stone. Anima means entering, becoming so small that he can even enter the stone. Prabhupada says, even there is no difference actually between mystic perfection, materialistic perfection. Okay, from here, Rasagar Prabhu read.
Of course, in the categories of mystic perfection, there are certain processes that the material scientists have not yet been able to develop. For instance, a mystic yogi can enter into the sun planet simply by using the rays of the sunshine. This perfection is called lagima. Similarly, a yogi can touch the moon with his finger. Fourth, the modern astronauts go to the moon with the help of spaceships. They undergo many difficulties, whereas a person with mystic perfection can extend his hand and touch the moon with his finger. This siddhi is called prapti or acquisition. With this prapti siddhi, not only can the perfect mystic yogi touch the moon planet, but he can extend his hand anywhere and take whatever he likes. He may be sitting thousands of miles away from a certain place, and if he likes, he can take fruit from a garden there. This is prapti siddhi. The modern scientists have manufactured nuclear weapons with which they can destroy an insignificant part of this planet, but by the yoga siddhi, known as Ishita, one can create and destroy an entire planet simply at will. Another perfection is called Vashita, and by this perfection one can bring anyone under his control. This is a kind of hypnotism that is almost irresistible. Sometimes it is found that a yogi who may have attained a little perfection in this Vashita mystic power comes out among the people and speaks all sorts of nonsense, controls their minds, exploits them, takes their money, and then goes away.
Prabhupada is comparing certain siddhis with the modern perfections, or material perfections. Material perfections also we see in the modern science. People have gone till moon planet. So why do so much of tapasya for doing certain things? Waste our energy. So Prabhupada is giving certain examples in that. Okay, Anupama, can you read from here?
Yeah, Mataji. There is another mystic perfection which is known as parakamya, magic. By this parakamya power, one can achieve anything he likes. For example, one can make water enter into his eye and then again come out from within the eye. Simply by his will, he can perform such wonderful activities. The highest perfection of mystic power is called Kama Vatsiyata. This is also magic, but whereas the Prakamya powers act to create wonderful effects within the scope of nature, Kama Vasyeta permits one to contradict nature. In other words, to do the impossible. Of course, one can derive great amounts of temporary happiness by achieving such yogic materialistic perfection. Foolishly, people who are enamored of the glimmer of modern materialistic advancement are thinking that the Krishna consciousness movement is for less intelligent men. I am better off being busy with my material comforts, maintaining a nice apartment, family, and sex life. These people do not know that at any moment they can be kicked out of their material situation. Due to ignorance, they do not know that real life is internal. The temporary comforts of the body are not the goal of life, and it is due to only to darkest ignorance that people become in mode of glimmering advancements of material comforts. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has therefore said that the advancements of material knowledge render a person more foolish because it is cause one to grate his real identity by its glimmer. This is doom for him. because this human form of life is meant for getting out of material contamination. By the advancement of material knowledge, people are becoming more and more entangled in material existence. There were no hope of being liberated from this catastrophe.
Yes.
In the Hari Bhakti,
Wait. Now from here, 32nd. This paragraph is for the 32nd verse. So till here, Siddhis has been spoken. Because first happiness, a person gets it, he gets perfection in the Siddhis because of doing some bhakti to Govinda. Now some bhakti to Govinda, anyhow, he gets Siddhi. But if he's not interested in Siddhi, then he'll get some bhukti. If he's not interested in bhukti also, he'll get the opportunity to get mukti. He's not interested in mukti also. Then he gets service to Govinda. Now, yatha hari bhakti sudodaya cha bhuyopi yache devesha tvai bhakti nitastu me ya mokshanta chaturvargaha faladaha sukadalata. So Hari Bhakti Sudodaya speaks, O Lord of the Devas, I again pray to you that I may have firm devotion to you. This bhakti is a creeper. Bhakti is a lata. Lata means it is a creeper which bestows dharma, artha, kama, moksha, and also the happiness of realization of the Lord. So it depends what we want, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, or we want seva to Krishna. Okay, read. Gadadhar Prabhu, read.
Hare Krishna Dandatnam. I am not able to follow. I'm just hearing, but I'm not able to follow the page number. Please, I just mentioned a message.
Take the page number. Now only if you don't follow, then how it will happen? 13th number page.
Hare Krishna. Page number
13. That is why I'm telling everyone to read so that your attention will be there in each and every verse and you have to mark it in the Hari Bhakti Sudodaya. You got it?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. I'm sorry to lose this. Sorry.
1.1.32 right there.
Yeah. In the Hari Bhakti Sudodaya, it is stated that Prahlad Maharaja, I am correct, Mataji? A great devotee of the Lord prayed to Nrsimhadeva, the half-lion, half-man incarnation, as follows. My dear Lord, I repeatedly pray unto your lotus feet that I may simply be stronger in devotional service. I simply pray that my Krishna consciousness may be more strong and steady, because happiness derived out of Krishna consciousness and devotional service is so powerful that with it one can have all the other perfection of religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and even the attainment of liberation from material existence. Can I go further?
Okay. Bas. Now 1.1.33. Moksha laguta kruta manageva prarudhayam hridaye bhagavat krutau purusharthastu chatvaras prunayante samantatah. Bhakti is giving total disregard for liberation. So even little attraction for the Lord grows in the heart, then dharma, artha, kama, moksha, they appear like truna. Truna means grass. Shameful to appear before bhakti. If bhakti is so strong, then automatically mukti and bhukti, they are considered like pishachis. Can Narayana read from here?
Actually, a pure devotee does not aspire any of these perfections because the happiness derived from devotional service in Krishna consciousness is so transcendental and so unlimited that no other happiness can compare to it. It is said that even one drop of happiness in Krishna consciousness stands beyond comparison with an ocean of happiness derived from any other activity. Thus, any person who has developed even a tiny quantity of pure devotional service can very easily kick out all the other kinds of happinesses derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation.
Go to the second paragraph, next paragraph also, that is also 33 only.
Uh, there was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya known as Khola Vecha Sridhar, who was a very poor man. He was doing a small business selling cups made from the leaves of plantain trees, and his income was almost nothing. Still, he was spending 50% of his small income on the worship of the Ganges, and with the other 50%, he was somehow living. Lord Chaitanya once revealed himself to this confidential devotee, Khola Vecha Sridhara, and offered him any opulence he liked. But Sridhara informed the Lord that he did not want any material opulence. He was quite happy in his present position and wanted only to gain unflinching faith and devotion unto the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. That is the position of pure devotees. If they can be engaged 24 hours each day in devotional service, they do not want anything else, not even the happiness of liberation or of becoming one with the Supreme.
Yes. So this was the position. This is the position of a pure devotee. That he doesn't want anything. He doesn't want any material opulence. So he's very happy with the present position. He only wants unflinching love for Krishna. Okay, now 1.1.34. Yatha Shri Narada Pancharatre Hari Bhakti Mahadeva Sarva Mukti Adi Siddhayah Muktayas Tasyas Chetikavat Anuvratah. So all the Narada Pancharatra says, all the siddhis headed by liberation, all astounding material pleasures follow after the great goddess Bhakti, Hari Bhakti, like fearful maidservants. Mukti, how they stand with the folded hands before Bhakti Devi. Okay. Continue reading, Narayana. Continue this last.
In the Narada Pancharatra, it is also said that any person who has developed even a small amount of devotional service doesn't care a fig for any kind of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, or the five kinds of liberation. Any kind of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, liberation, or sense gratification cannot even dare to enter into the heart of pure devotee. It is stated that as the personal attendants and maid servants of a queen follow the queen with all respect and obeisances, similarly, the joys of religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation follow the devotional service of the Lord. In other words, a pure devotee does not lack any kind of happiness derived from any source. He does not want anything but service to Krishna. But even if he should have another desire, the Lord fulfills this without the devotees asking.
Dhruva Maharaj went to ask a bigger kingdom, more bigger than his great grandfather, Swayambhu Manu. When Lord came, he considered all this. What am I asking? All these desires are just like a piece of glass. Lord says, I'll give you a bigger kingdom, even more bigger than your great grandfather. He says, I don't want. How foolish I am. If you see the prayers of Dhruva Maharaj, there he expresses actually pure devotion to you, that is the topmost. Before that, all these material desires are just insignificant, compares to a piece of glass, broken glass. Okay, now Sudurlabha. Again, in the Bhava Bhakti, one can understand that how moksha is insignificant and how devotional service is Durlabha. What is Durlabha? Coming to the stage of asakti is Durlabha. Because only after stage of asakti a person attains bhava. Even to get sadhana is also Durlabha only. It's not so easy to get sadhana bhakti. There are so many people wandering in this world. Brahmanda, Brahmite Kona, Bhagyavan Jiva. Guru Krishna Prasad Pai Bhakti Rata Bija. Even getting a seed of devotion and then cultivating that seed is very important. To get even the seed of devotion is also Durlabha. It is said, rareness of pure devotional service. And especially when a person comes to the stage of asakti, attachment to Krishna, that is the rarest. Because only after attachment, bhava comes. Sadhana is without attachment performing devotional service. Because we have come in contact, okay, chant 16 rounds. What to do is while seeing the time, sometimes even removing the mala and seeing how much is remaining. That is doing without attachment. At least doing something. Without attachment, trying to do so much. 16 round chanting so much. But without attachment. Just to follow the sadhana. A sadhaka will do that. Slowly, slowly, when he does that, because of Krishna's mercy, he gets some asakti. That all depends upon Krishna's mercy. Because he's following, at least he's doing ekamanasaha. Ekamanasaha means with one pointed attention, he's trying to do bhakti. Then naturally, Krishna will bestow mercy. So his taste changes. He develops attachment. So even with attachment or without attachment, coming to the stage of bhava wholly depends on Krishna's mercy. Bhava is not by our endeavor. We can try out. With attachment, without attachment, we can try out. Bhava depends upon Krishna's mercy. Even to chant Krishna's name, one time chant Krishna's name also requires Krishna's mercy. So at every stage, we should feel indebted. Krishna is allowing us to chant his name. Our acharyas have selected us to chant Krishna's name. So when that indebtedness is there, slowly, slowly it transforms into ruchi, asakti, bhava. Okay. Kanchan Mishra Mataji. Kanchan, not in the class.
Mataji, can I read?
Yeah, read.
I'm unable to read. Hare
Read.
Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Who is
The
saying?
rareness of pure devotional service. In the preliminary phase of spiritual life, there are different kinds of austerities, penances, and similar processes for attaining self-realization. However, even if an executor of these processes is without any material desire, but still he still cannot achieve devotional service. And aspiring by oneself alone to achieve devotional service is also not very hopeful, because Krishna does not agree to award devotional service to merely everyone. Krishna can easily offer a person material happiness or even liberation, but he does not agree very easily to award a person engagement in his devotional service. Devotional service can in fact be attained only through the mercy of a pure devotee. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 19.151, it is said, by the mercy of the spiritual master who is a pure devotee and by the mercy of Krishna, one can achieve the platform of devotional service. There is no other way.
Okay.
Next paragraph.
Wait. We did not read the verse, na? 35th verse.
Okay.
Okay, I'll read that verse first. 35th. You can mark it 1.1.35. You read the perfect. Sudurlabha sadhanaughai anasangait alabhya suchiradapi harina shashvadeyeti vidhasa syat sudurlabha. Bhakti is rarely attained. Bhakti is difficult to attain in two ways. If undertaken in great quantity but without attachment, bhakti cannot be attained even after a long time. And even if practiced with attachment, Krishna does not give bhakti to the practitioner immediately. It all depends upon Krishna, whether to give or not. So here, Yoga Swami's commentary, he says, Dvidha Sudurlabha. That means it is so rare, even if you try in two ways, with attachment, without attachment, it all depends upon Krishna. Bhava Bhakti is a very difficult thing to be attained. Now, which bhakti has been spoken? It's not sadhana bhakti which is spoken, but bhava bhakti is very difficult to attain. It all depends upon Krishna, whether he wants to give that bhava bhakti or not. So we saw yesterday stages: Ado Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Natta Nivritti, Nishtha, Vichi Asakti, Bhava. Then comes prema. It all depends upon Krishna whether to give bhava or not. Okay, now comes 36th verse. Tatradhyaha yatra yatha tantre jnanatah sulabha muktir bhuktir yagyadi punyatah seyam sadhana sahasrair hari bhakti sudurlabha. First type of rarity by practice without attachment is illustrated. Liberation is easily attained by jnana. Material enjoyment is easily attained by punya, such as sacrifice. After attaining dedication to those goals by thousands of attempts. But bhava bhakti to the Lord cannot be attained even if one practices thousands of different sadhanas, because asakti will not appear. Now let us see this. Now liberation, mukti or bhukti, if practiced, there also practice is required. There also one pointed concentration should be there. Oh, I want mukti. I want bhukti. 1,000 times you have to practice. It is also not so easy to get. Then he attains. But what about bhava bhakti? Even if he practices 1,000 times, it is so rare. It all depends upon Krishna to give. In some places it is said, Shurvataha Shraddhaya Nityam. If you are regularly hearing Bhagavatam, then Lord manifests in the heart. It has been given that. Yes, it all depends upon Krishna. One has to just follow. Though it is difficult, but it is not impossible. So it is said, Ekena Manasa, Tasmad Ekena Manasa Bhagavan Satutam Pati, Shottavya Kirtitavya Shadeya Pujascha Nityada. 4 activities we have to do. Shottavya, hearing about Krishna. Kirtitavya, speaking about Krishna. Shottavya Kirtitavya Shadeya, meditating upon him. Pujascha, worshipping him. Ekena Manasa, with one pointed attention. We don't, then it is very easy to attain Krishna. It all depends upon our one pointed attention. Now it is said other processes, like it should not be mixed with other processes. Bhakti should be one pointed. It should not be mixed with jnana and karma. Now jnanis, they want liberation. Therefore, that also they have to practice thousands and thousands of lifetimes to attain perfection, to become one with the Supreme. You want to have that knowledge. To have perfection in the material life also, he has to practice. But for devotion, he just has to be one pointed. Then slowly attachment develops. If attachment develops, it becomes easy to get bhava or to come to the stage of bhava. Okay, read. Mayapur Mataji, read. Continue.
Hare Krishna, Dandavana. The rarity of devotional service is also confirmed in the Tantra Shastra, where Lord Shiva says to Sati, "My dear Sati, if one is very fine philosopher analyzing the different processes of knowledge, he can achieve liberation from the material entanglement. By performance of the ritualistic sacrifices recommended in the Vedas, one can be elevated to the platform of pious activities and thereby enjoy the material comforts of life to the fullest extent. But all such endeavors can hardly offer anyone devotional service to the Lord. Not even if one tries for it by such process for many, many thousands of births." In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also confirmed by Prahlad Maharaj that merely by personal efforts or by the instructions of higher authorities, one cannot attain to the stage of devotional service. One must become blessed by the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee, who is completely freed from the contamination of material desires. In the fifth canto of Srimad
Wait, wait.
Bhagavatam,
That is
huh,
37th verse.
okay, Hare Krishna.
Yatha Panchame Skande 5.6.18. Rajan Patir Guru Lalam Bhagavatam Yadunam Daivam Priya Kulapati Kvacha Kinkaro Vaha Asivevam Manga Bhajatam Bhogavan Mukundo Muktim Dadati Karichit Smana Bhakti Yogam. The second rarity has been spoken. Now read that. The old translation is the same. Read Mayapur Mataji.
Hare Krishna. In the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th chapter, verse 18, Narad also says to Yudhishthir Maharaj, my dear king, it is Lord Krishna, known as Mukunda, who is the eternal protector of the Pandavas and the Yadus. He is also your spiritual master and instructor in every respect. He is the only worshipable God for you. He is very dear and affectionate, and he is the director of all your activities, both individual and familial. And what's more, he sometimes carried out your orders as if he were your messenger. My dear king, how very fortunate you are, because for others, all these favors given to you by the Supreme Lord would not even be dreamt of. The purport of this verse is that the Lord easily offers liberation, but he rarely agrees to offer a soul, uh, devotional service, because by devotional service the Lord himself become purchased by the devotee.
See how Krishna is fearful. He doesn't allow everybody to be purchased. That is why he will not give himself to everyone. Only devotees can purchase him, bind him. So Narada is telling to Yudhishthira Maharaj, what a great fortune you have. Krishna is directing your activities. He is so familiar with you all. He is such a wonderful, he has appeared like a relative for you. So in this way, you are very, very fortunate. You're very dear. He is very dear and affectionate. There in the further also it is going to come that how even Prahlad Maharaj is not so fortunate. Krishna is not going and sleeping in their house. But Pandavas are very fortunate. Krishna is going and sleeping there. And people come there, sages come there because Krishna is there. But sages did not visit Prahlad Maharaj's house. But in Prahlad Maharaj's house, Krishna did not go and sleep. Krishna did not go and eat there. So it's a fortune. Krishna is coming and eating. Krishna is lying, sleeping there. It's all a fortune. Okay, now next topic. That is 38th verse. Sandrananda Visheshatma. Sandrananda. Now, in the Prema stage, next two characteristic is there. Sandrananda Visheshatma, Shri Krishna Akarshishasa. So, Sandrananda Visheshatma, Brahmanando Bhavedesha, Chet Prarabdho, Chet Prarabdha, Chet Prarabdha, Parartha, Chet Parartha Gunikrita, Naiti Bhakti Sukham Bodhe, Paramanu, Tulamapi Parartha. Okay, Brahmanando Bhavedesha. Realization of this Brahman because of accumulated by Samadhi, which lasts for half of Brahma's life. It is not compared to even one drop of ocean of happiness of bhakti. Even if a person is getting the realization of Brahman, which is lasting for Brahma's half lifetime. That is nothing before even one drop of bhakti. Okay. Gadi Prabhu, read first paragraph.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The happiness of becoming.
That is 38th verse. First
Yes,
paragraph.
Mataji. The first happiness of becoming one with the Supreme. Srila Rupa Goswami says that if Brahmananda or happiness of the becoming one with the Supreme is multiplied by 1 trillion fold, it still cannot compare to an atomic fraction of happiness derived from the ocean of devotional service. In the
Okay. Wait.
Yes,
39th verse now. Now 39th verse. Yatha Hari Bhakti Sudodaya Swat Sakshat Karanarada Vishodhabdi Sitasya me Sukhani Ghoshpadayante Brahmani api Jagadguru. Okay, read.
in the Hari Bhakti Shuddhodaya, Prahlad Maharaj, while satisfying Lord Narasimhadeva by his prayers, says, "My dear Lord of the universe, I am feeling transcendental pleasure in your presence and have become merged in the ocean of happiness. I now consider the happiness of Brahmananda to be no more than the water in the impression left by cow's hoof in the earth compared to this ocean of bliss." Shall I stop? Hare Krishna. Shall I continue, Mataji? Yeah.
1 minute.
Yeah.
Now
Now
it
it
is 40th
40.
verse. So what does Prahlad Maharaj say? That your darshan is so wonderful that Brahmananda Sukham is no more than the water in the impression left by cow's hoof. You till where you continue this?
A bliss compared to the ocean of bliss. Cow's hope in the earth compared to this ocean of bliss.
Okay. 40th now. Tata bhavartha dipikayam cha bhavartha dipika. Tvat kathamrta पाठोडौ विहरन्तो महा मुदा कुर्वन्ति कीर्तिनः केचित् चतुर्वर्गं तृणोपमम्. So Bhavartha Deepika. Sridhar Swami has written Bhavartha Deepika. There it is, there what it is said. Just read that same translation.
Similarly, yeah, Hare Krishna. Similarly, it is confirmed in the Bhavartha Deepika, Sridhar Swami's commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam. My dear Lord, some of the fortunate persons who are swimming in the ocean of your nectar of devotion and who are releasing the nectar of the narration of your pastimes certainly know the ecstasies which immediately minimize the value of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. Such a transcendental devotee regards any kind of happiness other than devotional service as no better than straw in the street.
Now, last one. Shri Krishna Akarshani Chakshasa. Shri Krishna Akarshani. 41st verse. Shri Krishna Akarshani Kritva Harim Prema Bhajam Priyavarga Samanvitam Bhakti Vashi Karotiti. Shri Krishna Akarshani Mata. Bhakti attracts Krishna and his associates. Bhakti is called Shri Krishna Karshani because it makes Lord addicted to prema and brings him under control along with his associates. He also becomes addicted. Just see, we say no intoxication, no gambling. Now Krishna is also intoxicated. He's addicted to devotees' prema. That is how he's attracted. Here, one nice story comes where Ananta Alvar, he makes flower garden for Govinda. But Ramacharya has told him that you should make flower garden, immediately you should pluck the flowers and immediately you should make. There are certain flowers you have to tie immediately. If you don't do that, it becomes loose. Especially fragrant flowers, they are very tender. So he was making flower. Lord Govinda sent a message that he wants to meet Ananta Alvar. Ananta Alvar told, tell him to wait, I'll come. So he tied the flowers and all and went to Govinda. Lord told, can't you listen or what? When I called you immediately, you should have come. You said, you are asking me to wait? How arrogant you are. I don't want your flowers. Ananta Alvar told, you don't want, I'm taking it back. Then Krishna is running behind Ananta Alvar. Hey, what is this? You're not afraid? You're talking like this to me? Ananta Alvar told, see, I am listening to what my Guru has told. He has told me to tie the flowers when it is very, very fresh as soon as it is plucked. If you don't want, don't take. Krishna says, again you're talking arrogant to me. you better get lost from here. He said, you cannot throw me out because you are also a rented person in this place. This is Varaha Kshetra. At the time, Krishna is praising Anantalvar that how keen you are in following the instruction of the Guru. So that is why Anantalvar has got such a wonderful position that the Ram mantra for Anantalvar has been made by Lord Govinda himself. Shri Krishna Akarshani. When Krishna is attracted to a devotee, when he sees how strong is he in following the instruction of his Guru. Srila Prabhupada followed the instruction of his Guru in any adverse condition also. Srila Prabhupada did not give up the instructions, following the instructions. That is why Krishna runs behind such devotees. He is also addicted to such devotee. Okay. Gadadhar Prabhu, you read. You got it now? 1.1.41.
Yeah.
You have to write there.
Yeah, I written.
Mm.
Attracting Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami has stated that devotional service attracts even Krishna. Krishna attracts everyone, but devotional service attracts Krishna. The symbol of devotional service in the highest degree is Radharani. Krishna is called Madana Mohana, which means that he is the attractive, that he can defeat the attraction of thousands of cupids. But Radharani is still more attractive, or she can even
Your
attract
voice is
Krishna.
dragging.
Therefore,
Your voice is dragging.
yeah, I'll read again. Yeah, I'll read again. Now it's okay, Mataji?
No, wait. Your voice is not coming clear.
Read again or next para?
No, only that from there. But Radharani is still more attractive.
But Radharani is still more attractive, for she can even attract Krishna. Therefore, devotees call her Madan Mohana Mohini, the attractor of Cupid. Hare Krishna.
Read next also. That is also 41 only.
To perform devotional service means to follow in the steps of Radharani. And devotees in Vrindavan put themselves under the care of Radharani in order to achieve perfection in their devotional service. In other words, devotional service is not an activity of the material world. It is directly under the control of Radharani. In Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that Mahatmas or great souls are under the protection of Daivi Prakriti, the internal energy, Radharani. So, being directly under the control of internal potency of Krishna, devotional service attracts even Krishna himself.
Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakriti mahashitaha bhajanya manaso gyatva bhutadi avyayam. That is a verse. Mahatmanastu mam partha. Mahatmas are one who are directly under the shelter of Srimati Radharani. Daivim prakriti mahashitaha. Okay, that verse I was telling, a devotee, Shubhada, he is very dear, and everyone loves him, he loves everyone. It can be in either in third or fourth or fifth. So you search. Okay, next. 42nd. Yatha Ekadashi, 11th chapter, 14th verse. 11th canto, 14th chapter, 20th verse. Na sadhayati mam yogo na sankyam dharma uddhava na swadhyayas tapastyago yatha bhaktir mamorjita. Now, Krishna speaks to Uddhava. Okay, continue. Vaishnava Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Just a minute, Mati. Yeah. The fact is corroborated by Krishna in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 14th chapter, verse 20, where he says, "My dear Uddhava, you may know it from me that the attraction I feel for devotional service rendered by my devotees is not to be attained even by the performance of mystic yoga, philosophical speculation, ritualistic sacrifices, the study of Vedanta, the practice of severe austerities, or the giving of everything in charity. These are, of course, very nice activities, but they are not as attractive to me as the transcendental loving service rendered by my devotees." Further?
Wait. One verse I'm putting. Okay. Next is, so what is said? My dear Uddhava, you may know that the attraction I feel for devotional service rendered by my devotees is not to be attained even by the performance of mystic yoga. So even great personalities cannot attain me. He says, this the unalloyed devotional service in the form of prema bhakti by my devotees bring me under their control. Even by mystic yoga, Sankhya philosophy, pious activities, Vedic study, austerity, very difficult to attain. Krishna glorifies the gopis, the Vrajavasis. Krishna says, there's a verse I have put this. Taman manaska mat prana madharte tyakta jivita padarte tyakta dehika mameva daitam preshtam atmanam manasagataha ye takta loka dharmascha madharte tan vibharmyaham. Is glorifying the gopis. He says, they have given their mind to me, their prana to me, they have given their deha to me. I am the only one who is dear to them. And in this way, they love me so much. They have given up all the loka dharmascha. And also they have given up the social customs. Now 43rd verse. Now, still more to be satisfied. It is said, the author is giving many examples. Rupa Goswami is giving many examples. Not fully satisfied, then last example. That how Krishna is attracted by the pure devotional service. Saptame, 7th canto, 10th verse, 48th. So 48, 10th chapter, 48th verse. Naradaptau. Ya यूयं नरलोके बत भूरि भागा लोकं पुनना मुनयो भियन्ति येषां ग्रहान् अवसतिति साक्षात् गूढं परब्रह्म मनुष्यलिङ्गम्. Now read from here. Vaishnava Prabhu, read.
How Krishna becomes attracted by the devotional service of his devotees is described by Narada in Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 10th chapter, verses 48 and 49. There Narada addresses King Yudhishthira while the king is appreciating the glories of the character of Prahlad Maharaj. A devotee always appreciates the activities of other devotees. Yudhishthira Maharaj was appreciating the qualities of Prahlada, and that is one symptom of a pure devotee. A pure devotee never thinks himself great. He always thinks that other devotees are greater than himself. The king was thinking Prahlad Maharaj is actually a devotee of the Lord, while I am nothing. And while thinking this, he was addressed by Narada as follows. My dear King Yudhishthira, you, the Pandava brothers, are the only fortunate people in this world. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has appeared on this planet and is presenting himself to you as an ordinary human being. He is always with you in all circumstances. He is living with you and covering himself from the eyes of others. Others cannot understand that he is the Supreme Lord, but he is still living with you as your cousin, as your friend, and even as your messenger. Therefore, you must know that nobody in this world is more fortunate than you. Hare Krishna.
Continue.
In Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna appeared in his universal form, Arjuna prayed, my dear Krishna, I thought of you as my cousin brother, and so I have shown this respect to you in so many ways, calling you Krishna or friend. But you are so great that I could not understand. So that was the position of the Pandavas. Although Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, the greatest among all greats, he remained with those royal brothers. Being attracted by their devotion, by their friendship, and by their love. That is the proof of how great this process of devotional service is. It can attract even the supreme personality of Godhead. God is great, but devotional service is greater than God because it attracts him. People who are not in devotional service can never understand what great value there is in rendering service to the Lord. Hare Krishna.
So when the universal form was seen by Arjuna, he says, I used to call you Sakhiti Matva Prasavam Yadaptam. Hey Krishna, hey Yadav, hey Sakheti. I used to call you like this. Hey, you are the Supreme Person. Ajananta Mahimananta Vedam. Maya Pramadat Pranayena Vapi. So what foolish person I was. I was not knowing your glories. You said now, familiarity beats contempt. That is true. When you become very familiar, then you don't understand. The one who is sitting with you is actually the Supreme Person. And sometimes I called you Yadava. I called you Yadava means what? You are a cowherd boy. You are a Sakha. And in this way, Yachavahasarthamasakritosi vihara shayyasana bhojaneshu. I used to walk with you, play with you, I used to sleep with you, you used to eat with us. Eko thavapi achyutatat samaksham takshamayi tvam aham prameyam. In this way, your glories are so immeasurable. Please forgive me for considering you as one among us. People worship you, but we did not even worship you. People call you with great respect. You were very easily available for us. That is why we could not understand your glories. Okay, so here we'll stop. First chapter is complete. So you have the verses from 1.1.13 to 1.1.43 in the first chapter. Once you know this, even after your exams and all, you can relish. You can take Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and read the word-to-word translation which has been given, the translations which has been given, purports which has been given by Srila Prabhupada. So chapter 2 will be from 1.1.44 to 1.2.13. Okay. That also we'll do in 2 days time, not just 1 day time, 2 days time. Let us see. So what is any doubt is there? Any doubt?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Mataji, sorry, I cannot put my video on today. My question is that Mataji, the verses we have, you have put in group. What is the importance of? I did not hear. Did not hear very carefully that.
Which one?
What you have put in group. Tam man manaska mat prana.
Tam man manaska. That is the praising of the gopis by Krishna. They have given their mind to me, the prana to me. Tam man manaska at prana. Mother te tekta dehi kaha. They have given their deha to me. I am their beloved. They don't know anybody except me. They have given up their loka dharma. So highest stage of pure devotion service. Okay.
Thank you,
Any
Mataji.
other doubt? Any other doubt?
No, Mataji.
Okay, Nainu is going to sing something.
Ekakiya mara nahi paya bolo. Ekakiya mara nahi paya bolo. Naam sankirtane. Hari Naam sankirtane. Vaishnava Thakur Kori Sada Bindu Diya Tumi Kripa Kori Radha Bindu Diya Deho Krishna Nama Dane Deho Krishna Nama Dane Oi Vaishnava Thakur Dayar Sagar Edasi Karuda Kori Oi Vaishnava Thakur Dayar Sagar Edasi Karuna Kori.
जय हो।
कृपा सिंधु पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
वैष्णव वृंद की जय, नयन मंजरी की जय। हरि बोल।